You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast, delivering the knowledge in all things fitness business. We help gym owners win. Here are your hosts, Tim Lyons and Randy Engston.
All right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio, Built to Grow studio, HQ of Pulse Fitness and Profit Marketing. I'm joined today by none other than the aristocrat of action, Randy Engston.
How we doing?
What is up, man?
How we doing?
Doing good, man. We gotta blast this one out, and this one's This is a massive episode, so I'm gonna just throw one quick housekeeping tip. If you haven't picked up the book, timlyonsbook.com, and if you want to book a call, pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. We'll get on a call with Randy. There's a quick form we have to fill out.
And Let's
see,
do it.
and see how we can help you. Okay, so this is a topic that's overarching is kind of one of our, actually our goals for the year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our big goal is net profit, but also it's customer experience.
This would be a tactic towards our goals.
Perfect. Good. Yeah. Good call.
Back to our tactics, strategies, and goals.
Tactics, strategy. Okay, so this is a tactic and a strategy.
And
multiple strategies.
Yep.
Okay, so one of the things that we did in our predictions podcast for 2020 is that what's going to make the difference in 2020 for gyms that make it and don't is going to be the customer experience. There's too many options for fitness, for other, competitors that are even online, offline. A diet technically is a competitor of fitness.
So I think we get in a lot more indirect competition with the online scene, with the array of fitness solutions now.
The bar classes, the yoga and Pilates. And I think every gym owner listening has probably lost clients to Orange Theory or of yoga or Pilates. And you know that you're different as a training studio than, say, a Pilates studio, but to the end user, it's fitness. To the end user, it comes down to experience. It technically comes down to results, but they think they can get the same result doing something else. Now you're up against the wall. You have to make the difference. And what we kind of boiled this all down to is the experience is going to make the difference.
Yeah.
So if you're just, training clients and they're coming and going all day and they don't have any tie, or the experience isn't really like, blowing them away, they're going to get bored and they're going to move on. There's nothing tying them to there other than, the workout in the gym might be close to their house. I mean, that might be the only
convenience
thing.
Or something.
Convenience.
Sure.
So we got together as a team, as you know, we always do. We have our team meetings and we decided, look, what was good last year isn't good enough this year. What we want to do is be the best experience for any client in any, in this area, right? So we want to make sure our clients are happy. We created something that we're calling the standard. Okay, and this is the standard for customer experience. This is the standard that has to happen each and every single time somebody walks into this gym, be it a member or a non-member. The standard is now the standard, and this is how we operate. And we coined it the standard because this is the base level of expectations internally that we want. I mean, your clients' expectations their baseline expectations are different than what we decide our baseline expectations are. So this is the standard. So I'm just going to read through these, and feel free to take these, feel free to elaborate on these, but I think what you should do is listen to this podcast, make a decision, this is what you want for yourself, and then take this to the team, and then you make your own internal.
I agree.
I think if it's coming from the top down, a lot of times it's just like, oh, this is one more thing I have to do.
It's a requirement. It's not something that they've, your team's come up with or like they're bought in on. Sure.
Yeah. And what we did as a team is we got together and we all went around the room for 3 meetings in a row, and we solidified. And I think this is where we're at, and we've got 10. So let's talk about this. Number 1, leadership. Leadership we must own the experience. We can't leave it up to chance. We can't leave it up to the client to decide what the experience is going to be. We are in control of each member's path and interaction within the club. We must lead the member's experience from entry point to exit point every single day. And that's intentional.
Sure.
And you're going to talk about something that you brought up just before the show here in a second. But leadership the overarching standard. We are the leaders. They come to us for guidance. We know what's best for them most of the time. I wouldn't say all the time, but most of the time. And so we want to lean on that. Okay, number 2, greet every member by name with a smile. This shouldn't have to be the standard, like,
sure.
but it is. I mean, this should be just kind of a given. But you know what? Coaches have bad days.
The human element, people walk in and life comes with them to work, just like work comes, home with you sometimes.
Yep.
And sometimes you just need that reminder.
So greet every member by name and a smile, and that goes so deep into the soul of the client experience that maybe they've been getting crapped on all day at work. Maybe you got to remember, most people don't like the life they're living. They hate their job, their wife, their kids are giving them a hard time, their dog shit on the carpet. And everything's a pain. When they come to the gym, you greet them, hey, Randy, how you doing today? With a smile, it could change their mood immediately.
Absolutely.
And they take that home with them. So that's what we want to do. Go ahead and touch on what you said before.
Yeah, there's I guess it's like a lesson, just a way of living that I was taught years ago. It's a topic or an idea called the impression of increase. And it's leaving those individuals you come in contact with, every individual throughout your day. So the person at the checkout, your teller at the bank, whoever it may be, the waiter, the waitress. Typically it's easy to use people in a service industry, right? We come into contact with a lot of these people, but the person you cross paths with at a door, somebody you're interacting with work, leaving every individual better off than when you first initiated that contact.
I think it's awesome.
And I love the idea because, we've all, was it Buddha or the Dalai Lama, be the change that you want to see in the world. I don't remember who. I think it was the Dalai Lama that said it, but this is paying it forward in real time. This is literally you're seeing your world change around you, and it is so powerful. The impact you have on those individuals, it's taking just something that's either a transactional and it's making real. It's bringing in that human element. These are things that are lost in a lot of these interactions day to day. It's just transactional. It's going through the motions. This stops, brings in a real human element, allows some of that emotion to be in effect, and you create something that's real. And that's different than just, going through the motions.
Yep. So I think a lot of that has to do with technology. There's not a lot of humanity, especially the younger generations coming up. They don't know how to communicate in real life
at all.
It's unfortunate.
It is.
They text everybody. They don't answer the phone. They don't, it's a Facebook message, or it's a, like, or it's Tinder, or if it's like, there's no, like, you don't go out and have conversations anymore in the public. It's very sad. But when you do this and you're intentional about it, and you go out and you're going to make this cashier that you're working, you're checking out at the grocery store smile or laugh, making them better off. It's cascades.
Ripples make waves.
Yeah.
Okay, and it doesn't take anything. You're going to be in that situation anyways. You're forced to stand there while they're doing the work and checking out. Engage them. Have a conversation. It's really easy.
And it ties back to the gym. So
yep.
So I think that was a great segue. Number 3, start and end every session on time. Okay. If your clients are out there at 5 past the hour and the coach is nowhere to be seen, that experience is shit for that workout.
Sure.
It's done. You're done. You're screwed, because they're looking at the clock, they're paying for that, and they're looking at every minute they're sitting there without having somebody coaching them, and they're starting to think about why they should be leaving.
And back to leadership, because you know what I mean? Because they're looking for that leader to guide them.
Yep. And ending on time is as important, because if you go over, they may be late for their appointment after your session. The next group of people coming in, they're going to, by default, going to be starting late because you're ending the last one late. So starting and ending on time, on the minute, every minute, like that's, and we got a clock right there on the gym floor. There's no question about what time it is.
Sure.
They know. Number 4, the environment. The environment applies to not only cleanliness and tidiness of the gym, but also aroma and the appropriateness of the music. Is the responsibility of all team members to be aware and proactive in caring for the ambiance inside the gym.
I'll step in real quickly. You were in a meeting, or you might have already taken off yesterday, but Zach was on the training floor. I believe he was even working out, and the clients that were in there at that hour, he made mention to Mike, another trainer on staff. He said, "Hey, Mike, can you switch up the music?" And he goes, well, what do you want to hear? He goes, well, how about you make it appropriate to the people that are in the gym right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't the fact that neither of them were training with those clients. You know what I mean? So it was just something that Zach observed. They went above and beyond. They made sure that the people that were in the facility got the greatest experience that they could have, by matching the music to the clientele that was there at the time.
And that's very, very important. The awareness level of the coaches is typically very unaware. They're just in their zone and they're training the client and they're not thinking about the music, but it plays into everything.
Absolutely.
And so we make it a point to understand what's going on with the music. We understand the clients are in the gym. If it's clean after every session, we have cleaning crews. We don't expect our coaches to be the ones mopping the floor.
Sure.
Because they're going to do a shit job at it, but we need to hire and we need to systematize and have a professional that we're paying specifically for that. Yeah, it costs more money, but guess what? I guarantee this gym's cleaner than any gym.
Any one of them, for sure.
Yeah.
And it comes back to the fact that it's not like it's not a requirement for them to do that, but they also are the type that will pick up and do it if it needs to happen.
Always. Yep. Okay, let's keep rolling. Again, this is the standard. This is what we at Pulse Fitness in this gym, this is the baseline. Anything above this is great, but this is even the standard is great.
Yep.
Okay. Recognition and complimenting. All team members are responsible for paying at least one compliment or providing recognition for an accomplishment or effort to every member during their visit to the club. Every time somebody is in the club training with you, you got to give them a compliment.
Sure.
Great kettlebell swing. Way to work today. Love your shoes. You look great. I can't believe how much weight you lost. Man, you're getting strong. You make my job easy for working so hard. I really appreciate you. Compliment, because they're not getting complimented in real life, right, outside the gym. Number 6, sense of community. It's the team's duty to make each member, especially new members, feel included. Coaches should always introduce new members to existing members and promote camaraderie. Okay, stickiness to not only the gym, not only to the coach, not only to the workout, not only to the brand, but stickiness to the other clients in the gym that they're training with. And we talked about this in depth because we've been to gyms and you've done classes when you're out of town or a boot camp or you got a training session and where you're just the new person and you're sitting in the corner and nobody's talking to you.
Sure.
If you're an introverted person, that's like a nightmare. You're in a group, you're going to be physical, you don't know, maybe you don't look as good as everybody else, and then nobody's talking to you and nobody's introducing you. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, all those insecurities are just firing.
Yeah.
And now you've taken what should be the client's best hour of the day and you've made them not want to come back.
Yep. Yeah. This is the standard, guys. And think about it. It's probably opening some eyes. You guys are listening. It's like, oh my gosh. I didn't think about it. You have to be deliberate in thinking about the experience because like we said at the beginning of this episode, this is going to make the difference this year.
That's what it comes back to. And a lot of the things we talk about and being, it's a thread throughout all of the lessons that we teach on this. It's intentional.
Yes.
A lot of these things happen in life. A lot of these things are kind of expectations in how we should operate. But we go through the motions. We get in a routine. We put our focus on the result or a certain aspect, and we forget the simple things every single time. Mm-hmm. And so by creating that baseline, forcing intention, all right, you need to create a habit. It needs to become not every single one of these happens every single time right now, but by drawing attention to it and allowing you now to be intentional around it, that's good. Like you said, it's going to be the standard moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you have to write it down because if you expect everybody to remember these things, forget it. It needs to be front and center, like your core values are front and center. We have it on the wall. We talk about it every meeting. It's just who we are, okay? That was sense of, okay, laugh. Number 7, all members should laugh each time they visit Pulse Fitness.
Love it.
There's nothing else to be said there. Let's make this a great time. Number 8 is have a great workout. Now, this is defined separately on a standard for the workout. So we have a separate standard for the workout, and that's not the standard for the experience. But this is now we're going deeper into what the workout is and what the standard is for every workout. And I'm not talking about the movements.
Sure.
I'm talking about the experience they get in the workout, and that's just going to be a whole different podcast episode. Number 9, send off and a thank you. Each member should receive a send-off and be thanked for when they leave the facility. The thank you should be specific. Okay? You've all done it. you've ended a session, you got tied up with a client, and then that person just drifts off and walks out the door and goes in their car and drives home.
Right. You're focused on you putting the equipment away or something else that it's just the client is not your focus.
Yep.
Give them that few minutes.
Yep. So send off and thank you. So great workout, Randy. Appreciate your hard work today. Let's get you booked in for your next session, or are you booked for your next session? That's always kind of like the standard for us, is we want to make sure that we know when they're coming back again, or at least they know when they're coming back again. You can't let somebody drift off and just leave the gym at the end of the workout, because you could have done everything great up until that point, and then they just drift off, and then they're like, eh.
And I'm sure, like this is an opportunity to tie in other things that make that experience even more personable. So throughout that workout, you probably talked about what's coming up later in the day, or what they're doing after they're done here, or what they're going in and doing this weekend. So that's a way of segmenting and bringing back the information you gathered from that client during the session.
Yep.
And saying, hey, Tim, have a great weekend. Enjoy that game, that you're headed to, or like, enjoy your hike with your dog this afternoon. Like these are cues that say, hey, I'm listening to you.
Sure.
It's not just I'm present. And that goes a long way.
Yeah, these are massive. And I'm so happy we did this, because we did a lot of these things, but they were intermittent and they just weren't the standard. This wasn't every single day. Like some coaches do them better than others. So now everybody's going to do these.
I think it was David Bender brought up a client of ours are coming out to the workshop.
Yeah.
He's in the marketing group. Him and I were talking about the client experience recently, and he brought in, is it, what's the term? Is it Michelin restaurants?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like there's a standard, of acceptance, a threshold that you walk in. When you go into a restaurant like that, the level of service
certified.
Exactly. Yeah. Like you know exactly what to expect. And again, this goes back to the brand promise. When you execute your standard, you solidify your brand promise, and you create that you solidify the relationship with that person.
Beautiful. Yeah, this is great. Last one, accessibility. The experience doesn't end when the member leaves the facility. Accessibility means the member feels comfortable reaching out to any and all team members at any time. This is created internally by the team, expressing to the member that the member can contact them anytime. It's created externally: personal correspondence, text, email, thank you letters, social media engagement, blog, newsletters, and posts. What we found is that some clients, obviously reach out. They've got a better relationship, but we don't want those other clients who have questions at the restaurant. What should I get? And they don't think of us as a resource outside the gym, and we want that to carry outside the gym. Yes, it's going to be more work.
Sure.
Yes, it could get into the weekends. Yes, off the clock. But we as a team agree that this is an absolute must that has to happen. And we don't believe that anybody's going to abuse this, or if they do, then they're going to get brought down a little bit. But we don't want them to feel like they can't. And maybe they won't ever. But I'm just saying we have to be available for them outside the gym, because we get them for 1 hour. There's 23 hours they can sabotage themselves. But that's also proactive on our end. We're going to reach out to them outside the gym as well. We've got automation for a lot of this stuff, but we have direct text messaging and all this stuff. The kicker here is that a lot of gyms are thinking about this. Well, two things they're probably thinking about. Well, my coaches aren't going to want to do that. They want to get paid. What do we do there? And the other one is, and this is how I was maybe a couple years ago, because I got basically stabbed in the back several times, is that you don't want that relationship to be so tight with that coach. When they leave the gym, they take all your clients with them, and then you're left with nothing. We just, at this point in our kind of maturity level of the gym, we're pretty comfortable that that's not going to happen. And it could happen, and and I'm not saying it won't ever happen, but it's just the risk we're going to have to take to make the standard experience that much better. And I think it'll pay dividends over the long term. But these are ours. Okay, these are our standards. This is what we believe in. And this is the experience that we're focusing on. I suggest you create your own. Bounce off of these, but whatever. But don't take these and just do them at your gym, because it doesn't make sense for your gym.
Sure.
But this is an eye opener for a lot of people. We had to systematize the way we operate, or else we're dead in the water. And you were dead in the water too, guys. If some new franchise that's got their experience dialed in comes across the street, Barry's Boot Camp's great. Even an Orange Theory or an Equinox or some of these places where it's they have their shit together, you got to protect yourself. You're building a wall around your business to kind of protect your tribe, and this is everything.
And there's a difference between being exceptionally personable, like overly connected with the individual, and creating a standard or a baseline. You know what I mean? Because you still need that baseline. You still need the experience for every client to be nearly identical. Yes. You know what I mean? Or like close. So if you're thinking that you just go above and beyond for every single person that walks through your facility, you're probably not creating a consistent experience across the board. It's not systematized. It's not duplicatable. It's not everybody can't plug in and know exactly what to do. And that's why it's important to have a list, write it down, make it intentional, make it the standard, and everybody walking through the facility can expect the same experience rather than just those that you resonate with or trying to figure out how to connect with each individual personally.
Beautiful.
Write these because this is a baseline for business. And this is the operating manual, if you may.
SOPs, standard operating procedures. So, guys, I wanted to get this out there. I thought it was important to talk about. We're proud of this. We're really focusing hard this year. We can't, the status quo is no longer valid anymore. We can't do that anymore. We've got to change it up, really focus. We're 10 years into this thing, and we're reestablishing our standard again. We're reestablishing the experience because that's what we have to do. The times change. The gym business is a brutal business.
Well, you said it to us, but you said to me before we got on, as you were laying out kind of the idea that we were going to have for the podcast, you said what we were last year is not what we are going to be this year, or what is going to work this year. Right. We need to step to the plate. We need to do more.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I mean, the things that other facilities are bringing to the table cannot touch an experience like something like this.
Yeah.
And so if you and your gym get intentional again about creating a list and having it align with your beliefs and your values and unique to your facility, just execute that. And your competition can't. I mean, until they catch up, but you're going to be ahead of their game for a long time.
Beautiful thing. All right, guys, take that, run with it. Hopefully that helps. Our mission is here to help gym owners win. And I kind of want to throw a teaser out about something we're about to do.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to do it?
I think I know where we're going.
All right. So we met the other day, and this will be the sign off. Maybe you can ask us about it. maybe by the time this podcast comes out, you're going to hear more about it. We've decided our mission has always been to help gym owners win. And a lot of times we get on the call, and sometimes, financially it's not feasible to work with us. Mm-hmm. We've decided to give $100,000 in scholarships away to the gym owners that would apply and then want to work with us that maybe can't afford some of our highest ticket stuff, but we're going to do a scholarship program that we'll divide it up over several gyms, but $100,000 we're committed to giving away in scholarships. There's going to be an application process, and really what I've decided is I'm going to allocate the scholarships to the gyms that are most likely to succeed. Some of you are lost causes. I'm not going to be.
There's no way to beat around the bush.
Some of you don't want change. You're not willing to work. You're not coachable, and that's it. You're not going to probably get a scholarship if you apply. We want somebody that's coachable because I know I can help you. I know you can help them. But there's some gyms that you're in a tight spot. No problem. We're gonna make this work for you guys. So coming soon. If you haven't heard by the time this podcast comes out, because we're kind of getting ahead now. Finally, we're usually a couple weeks ahead. I think we're a month ahead now when we're talking about this. So by the time this comes out, you might be seeing some stuff through email and text and Facebook and stuff. But $100,000 what we've committed to in scholarships towards a couple of our specific products that we're gonna let you know about later. But hopefully that helps. I think that's gonna help us in our mission. It's gonna help you as gym owners win. Take this episode, the standard, and make your own standard and run with it and go win. Go win today. Go win tomorrow. Go win the rest of the year and on from there. So,
love it. Love it.
All right, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye.